This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And finally, we have the pinnacle episode of Keep 'em or Dump 'em. We are doing Julius Randle, ladies and gentlemen. We have an all-star cast here with us today. Tony's here, Steph is here. Cornerstone Kev and State of the Knicks podcast is going to be joining us in just a little bit. But we're going to go ahead and get this thing on and popping, ladies and gentlemen. Tony, what's popping with you, brother? How you feeling?
I'm good, Sim. I hope you enjoyed your 4th of July.
I did.
Like I said, 4th of July is over, but the fireworks are about to start.
They starting tonight. They are starting tonight. We already know. Steph, what's going on? How you feeling?
I'm doing good, Sim. Forever grateful. Man, I took some time to just get my mind in the right frame, going through how I need to not be so reactive and be Mark in these rooms. So I'm looking forward to the show.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one, man. And we had to make sure we had an even panel. You know what I mean? So people didn't say we was trying to stack the deck. Mm-hmm. We got Cornerstone. We got State of New York coming in. We're going to be able to take some phone calls and everything. Cornerstone, what's up, man?
Hey, Sim, how you doing?
Good.
What's up, Tony, to the queen? Tony didn't say it, so I'll say it for him. Black is time. Black is time. Black is time. Yeah, it was a song back in the 90s by Vanessa Williams called "Saving the Best for Last," and I think that's what you did tonight. Is saving the best for last.
And listen, it's the perfect time to do it, right?
That's right. Absolutely.
The Knicks just, they signed Jalen Brunson. It's not complete yet. We'll see if it turns out to be a sign and trade, and if it is, who knows? What if Julius Randle goes in a sign and trade? I doubt it. Just saying, right? The possibilities are there. KD wants to be traded. I doubt New York, the Brooklyn Nets would trade KD to the Knicks. But if that happened, it's Julius Randle would probably go in that trade, right? People are talking about Charlotte Hornets need a power forward now because of everything going on with Miles Bridges. I'm not going to get into that. So there's possibilities out there. And, of course, there's been rumors that the Knicks have at least inquired about trading Julius Randle. But then on the opposite side of the coin, E. Begley said he doesn't, given his relationship with Leon Rose and World Wide West and guys like that, it's probably not looking at Julius Randle being traded. Although the Knicks fans want him out of town. A good portion of Knicks fans want him out of town. Right now, looking at the chat and the voting poll that's in the chat, 59% of fans say dump him. 41% say keep him. That's actually closer than you probably thought it would be. So now looking at the Knicks roster, it's a good question and a good time to do it. You know what I mean? To find out what should you do with Julius Randle. So, Tony, I'm going to start with you, man. Just real quick. You don't even have to go into it yet. We'll start to go into it. I just want to know, right off the bat, what is your initial thought? Keep him or dump him?
Keep him. And your black is time, Kev.
Okay. All right. Steph, your initial thought? Keep him?
Keep him.
Kev, your initial thoughts?
Dump him.
Dump him. I knew that was coming. I knew you was dump him. And, of course, State, we know what State's thoughts been like that ever since they signed him. Dump him. My initial feeling is to keep him. All right? Especially now that you signed Jalen Brunson. You know what I mean?
3-2. All right.
Yeah, it's 3-2. We're gonna see how powerful, how strong you guys really are.
But you're winning in the poll.
You're winning in the poll.
Yeah.
They're winning in the poll. Julius Randle last year, ladies and gentlemen, averaged 20.1 points per game. 9.9 rebounds per game, 5.1 assists. He shot 41.1% from the field. That's a career low for Julius Randle. He shot 30.8% from three. He shot 75.6% from the free throw line. And his 4-year, $117 million extension begins in 2022, 2023. All right. And just to be clear, so that a lot of people know, with that extension, ladies and gentlemen, Julius Randle will never get to $30 million. My man State, was throwing out falsified information earlier today, about the Knicks having $300 million and this, that, and the third, and I had to check him real quick. And I ain't talking behind his back because he's right here. I ain't talking behind his back. I don't do that. State, what's going on with you, man? How you feeling?
What's up, OG? I'm good. I had to find like a good seating spot.
Okay.
I apologize.
No, it's good. It's good. We just ran off Julius Randle's stats for the year, for 2021, 2022. Of course, like I just said, he has a 4-year, $117 million extension that begins in 22-23. You're not a fan of it at all. I know it. Although I did see that you had a little bit of heart towards Julius Randle the other day when I seen a post that you put out. You probably don't want to admit it, but I seen a post that you put out where you said something about if Julius Randle does such and such and such, you'll feel some kind of way about whatever. Right? So State, your initial thoughts on, looks like we lost State. We'll see if we can get State when he gets some good reception in here. Cornerstone. Tell me why. You say dump him right off bat. You say dump him. Tell me why.
All right, I had to look at the stats again. Stats are staggering on a positive side, but on the negative side, from the eye test, after everything that I saw this year, I gotta go on the limb and say I wasn't really impressed because he didn't act like the leader that I thought that he would. I think RJ has stepped into that more than he has. And he's supposed to be, the year before that, he was the best thing since sliced bread. And I think he just took a step back. So when I say dump him, yeah, that was my initial. It's been on record. I say I want to get rid of him and all like this and everything. I had some time to think about it. And though I still want to, dump him, I'm willing to give him, until.
Oh, we didn't have to go through anything to get him to change his mind.
Yeah, because I can't be hypocritical and say I'm all in for him and everything. I have to see.
Uh-huh.
All right. So now, like you said, with Brunson here,
right?
All right. We finally have a point guard that's that's going to drive to the basket, make his shots, and make the everyone else around him better. I'm willing to see how Randle reacts with him, with Brunson. So that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Short and simple.
But see, I think that's a good take though. Even if you dislike Randle or don't like his style of play, or just don't think he's good for the team, I think it's only fair that he gets the benefit of the doubt, right? You got Jalen Brunson there now. He did give you an All-NBA season. You know what I mean? And it came after, a season where obviously, they won 21 games, but, he was supposed to be the man on the team. He had to adjust to that. And he barely had a chance to be that because Marcus Morris was there. And then last season, we had that not last season, the season before last season, he had that All-NBA season. Teams adjusted to him. Now he gets a chance to adjust to that. You know what I mean? See, and that's why I think it's only fair that you say, you know what, let's see if he can readjust now. You know what I'm saying?
And only time will tell. Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. Only time will tell.
But here's the thing: if I'm willing to give Tibbs until to the All-Star break, I gotta do it for him as well.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
gotta do it for him
All
as
right.
well.
State, talk to me, man. I
Dang, he keeps
every time. Every time. I don't know. It's not in the cards for him. We're gonna let him get a chance.
He need to get off that cricket. Thing. He gonna kill me afterwards.
Yeah.
I thought he was just gonna actually say something nice about Randall, and that's why I was shutting out.
Yeah, it might be. It could be. It could be. But Tony, I mean, do you agree with what Kevin is saying though?
I like the rationale. But I was to keep him from jump.
Mm-hmm.
I'll point out some reasons why, because I think you guys touched on some great points about the All-Star year compared to this year. But I'll go back a year prior, and he wasn't very well liked amongst Knicks fans then. His first year here, a lot of people were calling for him to be removed. A lot of spin move jokes. He's not a leader.
Right.
He's not a number one, et cetera, et cetera. And he bounced back from it. He took that pressure. He fed off of it. He went out in the off season and worked on his game and redefined himself. And I think at the very least, I'm expecting him to do something similar. Whether he reaches or exceeds 2 years ago, that's another story. But I think he's at the very least going to bounce back and kind of level out his full his emotions with his game, his fight and his desire with some mistakes I think he's made.
Yeah.
So keep him.
Yeah. Steph, you have a lot of the same sentiments. Anything you'd like to add to that? Because then I have some other questions, to go on with Julius Randle.
Yeah, definitely keep him. I'm more interested in him bouncing back in terms of his leadership and bouncing back in terms of him being able to hone his emotion.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of his game, I think there's certain things, like I've said before, that Tibbs can do, or the way you construct the roster, that can help his game, right? Already bringing Brunson in should take the ball out of his hand in terms of facilitating. That should cut down the turnovers because he won't be facilitating the offense. Hopefully, now it's just him getting to his spots and Brunson setting him up. So I think that's going to help his game. But the main thing is his leadership. And by leadership, he doesn't even need to be an active leader because we have Brunson now. Just don't be a detractor. Like, just don't be, someone that's creating, a distraction. And the second thing is just him being able to hone his emotions. If he does that, we good. And that's what I'm looking for Randle next season. And if he does that, he will resume his position, if he's ever lost it, as being the best player on his team. I don't even think you can argue that. Look at his numbers playing the way he played. He didn't even play well. And I'm not saying that numbers is everything. I agree. It's not. But he was terrible, in my opinion. And it was still 20-10-5. So if he hones his emotions and don't become a leadership distractor, he's gonna the Knicks are a different team.
Right.
If he's honing his emotions, the Knicks are a different team.
Steph, can I ask you a question? And
Absolutely,
Sim and
co-host
Antonio,
Kev.
You can do the same
Sim,
thing.
save that. Change that to co-host Kev. Go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead, co-host.
So I'll go from cornerstone to co-host. I like that. Do you think the fans had something to do with what you were just talking about with his emotions?
I think the emotions are all his, but I think he's having a difficult time adjusting to perhaps being a star in the fans' eyes. They turned very quickly on him. I think he couldn't handle that. Maybe he couldn't handle Kemba Walker coming in and getting all of the praise in the beginning of the season. Maybe he couldn't handle the Knicks being the 4th seed, and he could see after a few games, maybe 20 games, that we're not going to have the same success. His reaction, he has to own that. No matter what the fans does, he has to own that. Right. And I'm hoping that, listen, like Tony said, he always gets better the next season. Mm-hmm. He always responds the next season. But his response this season has to be in terms of his leadership and his emotions. That's the response that's needed this season.
Right.
Yeah, and just real quick, the reason why I asked that is because if we remember when we had that really good season the year before that, that was during the pandemic, and the fans really didn't come in towards the end of the season.
Mm.
Now, last season, they were there 24/7. So
Mhm.
they get to see everything that's going on. And the players get to, see the spotlight and hear the chatter. And when we played bad, they heard the boos. So that's what, that's why I was asking about, if the fans had, something to do with his emotions.
But I think you can't discount, and maybe, right? Maybe the fans had something to do with it. Just being in the Garden, there's more emotions you have. Maybe some added pressure that you put on yourself to try to perform. You want to perform in front of the fans. If you're not performing well, you know what fans are going to do in New York already anyway. You know what I'm saying? But I also don't want to discount the fact that he had that season, the season that he had, and opposing teams now look at you differently. They no longer look at you as a role player. Now you are a guy that we have to key on. And opposing teams are like, you are a guy we have to key on. And I think Atlanta wrote the blueprint on how to defend him. And so now other teams were doing the same exact thing, right? And so he was confused a little bit about, where do I find my shot, right? How do I, get other people involved when teams are playing this weird amoeba type of defense on me? They're not actually really double teaming me. Do I take the mid-range shot? Do I still try to force it in and kick it out? So I think he was confused a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And so now he's not playing well. The fans are going to boo because that's the way, New York fans are. And it started to get under his skin. You know what I mean? And then it snowballed to the rest of the season. And not having a guard out. And with Kemba Walker has never been the Chris Paul type of point guard, in my opinion. And I'm not saying that he doesn't have a good basketball IQ, but I've never seen him as the kind of guy. Yeah. Never seen him as that kind of guy that's going to be able to say, this is what you need to do when these guys play this kind of defense. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if Tom Thibodeau really knew how to adjust to it. I think he expects, hey, if they're gonna sag off you, just take the mid-range jump shot and knock it down. You know what I'm saying? If they're going to play this kind of weird defense, just shoot the shot. But Julius Randle was kind of indecisive as to really what he wanted to do or what he should do. I'm hoping that having Jalen Brunson there is going to, he can make the decision for him. And he can create the open lane for Julius Randle to be able to score. You know what I mean? And to make shots easier and to take that pressure off of Julius Randle. And another thing that'll take pressure off of Julius Randle is Obi. If Obi can really play well and perform well and pick up where he left off last season, right? Then now when Julius Randle is not playing well, you can come in with Obi, and Obi's going to be able to come in and perform and those type of things. And I think Obi's built some trust up with Tom Thibodeau, built up a little bit more trust. So I think it has more to do with, other teams really keying in on Julius Randle. And the Knicks not having another person that can take that pressure off of Julius Randle. You know what I mean? And, so I think it was a tough season for him. And the Knicks got to figure out how to adjust. But I was having a conversation with State earlier, right? He's mad about Randle's contract and Fournier's contract and Jalen Brunson's contract. That's why I really wanted him here. So he can discuss these things. But if you look at the 2 years previous to Julius Randle being on this team, to Julius Randle, R.J. Barrett, and those guys, the Knicks won 17 games, right? And the next year with R.J. Barrett and Randle, they won 21 games. You look at them now, the Knicks are 78 and 76 over the last 2 seasons. And people will say, oh, that's mid. That's da-da-da-da. You're right? That's that's a mediocre team, but it's miles above what they were 2 years before they became a mediocre team, and even 2 years before that, and 2 years before that, miles above what they were. You know what I'm saying? I mean, 78, 76 over the last 2 years, at least it's a winning record. They got 8, 9 players under 25 years old. They got a guy that made an All-NBA team. And I'm not saying the Knicks are going to be a star team, a superstar team next year, but they're moving in the right direction, and hopefully they're able to have enough pieces to eventually be able to, land that star that's going to really take them there. My question, though, is we know the expectations of Julius Randle for next season, mentally. But Tony, what are your expectations number-wise?
I'm not too concerned with the numbers, like Queen pointed out, and I believe I've pointed out in the past as well. Bad season still put up good numbers. So my emphasis for him is really about efficiency, because I think if he becomes efficient, the numbers are going to be there regardless. I don't expect his shot attempts to decrease going forward, or if they do, I don't think it'll be significant. Maybe a shot or two less per game. And that actually would be more of a shock than something I expect. So that being said, if his efficiency goes up and he can really just pick his spots and damage other teams where in his comfort zone, I think the numbers will be there all year, and if not, even better. You know what I mean? So I guess 20-10-5, or I'll even say 20-10-3 point something would be like my expectation. But right. I wouldn't be surprised if it increases.
Right. Oh, okay. Increases. I wouldn't expect his assist to increase. Steph, you're muted. I wouldn't expect his assist to increase though, because he's not going to have the ball in his hands much.
That's why I said.
Did you say
the 3.5 or 3 point something?
Okay.
You know what I mean? But yeah, the 20 and 10, that's a minimum for me, because he's shown he can do that on a bad year for him. You know what I mean, statistically. So I think if he could bring that efficiency up, it should be the same, if not better.
Okay, Steph, you getting ready to say something?
No, I just said wow. But to answer your question, 18 to 20 points, 10 rebounds, 3 to 4 assists. Even though he's not going to be the primary facilitator, he may still get double teamed when he does get the ball, and that still gives him the opportunity to pass out of the double team. I have his numbers going down. I just think Brunson's going to take more shots. Who knows where the rest of the team is in terms of getting shots? But if he's more efficient, he might be able to get 20 on less shots. So that's something I'm really hoping to. He was never a good 3-point shooter, Sim. If we can get it at 34, 35, that's definitely respectable. Right? Yeah, this is a big jump though. 34, 35. If he can get his field goal percentage, I know you read off the numbers, on some of prior shows, 45 to 48, percent. That's gonna work. But as we talk, that'll be great for us. But as we talked about that leadership, I know I keep hammering the same point. Not even a leadership, his ability to hone his emotions is going to go a long way.
I agree with you.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely going to go a long way. You know what I mean? His ability to bring that in, and I'm hoping that having Jalen Brunson, having even Rick Brunson there, I keep harping on it. I think Rick Brunson is a big piece to this. Having those guys there help him to manage, his emotions. Especially, I was reading an article the other day about Rick Brunson and Jalen Brunson, and Rick ain't a joke, man. With the way he was doing with Jalen, he ain't a joke. But State, do we have you loud and clear now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. We got money now. You're good to go. We good to go.
Okay.
Good to go.
Talk to me, man.
I've been listening.
Talk to me, man.
On my other
Talk
phone
to me
as well. So.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me. So talk to me. Tell us your feelings on Randle.
I put out the video the other day about Julius Randle because I have been saying, right? You can never go to war without enough soldiers. Oh my God, the ambulance. You can never go to war without enough soldiers. And Randle is not some scrub. And I don't want to treat him like some scrub. And I'm kind of sick and tired of like judging him the way I was. So I tried to like put out a video in order to ease up, because I know the possibility of him coming back is like real. Like I understand the reason why you bring Randle back, right?
Okay.
Because last season you wasn't going to get very much value from him, on top of the fact that he hasn't had a point guard in about 3 years, and on top of the fact that he had just got paid and he was going through so much pressure, like understandable. But the real war criminal is Tom Thibodeau. So as I've been, and mind you, like I want to really love Randle. Like I want to, because I really love Randle in college. Randle, at Kentucky broke the rebounding record, and I was watching him, and I was like, yo, this dude he's so nice, 6'9", 250, looked like Lamar Odom, like a bigger version of Lamar Odom. And he came to the Knicks in 2019. I'm like, all right, cool. But the way he played, I couldn't stand behind him after that first season. So the second season, he plays very well, but then I got to take into account he was playing fake basketball. It was a fake season. I'm never going to ever, and I'm sorry, OG, to anybody who loved that playoff run. That was a mistake. Now, if you want to sit here and not admit that wasn't a mistake, I understand. I respect that. I could have went 8 straight years with no playoffs if you would have just brought me a top 7 pick from that draft and brought me Quentin Grimes. And now we have more talent. And now I'm not sitting here wondering why, or wondering if Cam Reddish is going to play next season, because Evan Fournier and Derrick Rose still might not be traded. So like it's so many questions, but at the same time, getting back to Randle, you know, it's really the coach. If Tibbs could scale down Randle's 38 minutes, whatever he played per game last season, I think Randle played 1,340 more minutes than Obi Toppin last season. That is egregious. That is very egregious. And I feel like Julius Randle and Obi Toppin, huh?
You don't think that's deservedly so though? You think
No.
Obi Toppin played 17. Obi Toppin played 17 to 18 minutes a game last year. So what do you think? What do you think Obi Toppin should have gotten last year, as far as minutes?
Last year he should have gotten at least 25 minutes per. At least.
Oh, I don't know.
At least.
I don't know.
But Randle did. It was a lot of games I watched where Randle should have been benched. RJ should have been benched.
I agree.
And regardless of the situation, I felt like Tibbs could have managed that better. And you could have reined Julius Randle in. So I can't really, I could blame him a lot, and that's just the emotional side of me. But at the same time, that falls on coaching. Tibbs supposed to rein him in. If you slap the laptop out of an assistant hand, you screaming at Obi Toppin and quickly about mistakes, scream at that man. I've never seen Tibbs scream at him. That is a problem. I have a problem with that. I never seen Tibbs rein Randle in last season.
But check this out. But check this out though.
Uh-huh.
Different players sometimes you gotta address differently. You have players that you can scream at. You have players that you can't scream at. Right? He's already emotionally charged. So do you actually think Tom Thibodeau screaming at Julius Randle is going to get the job done?
But
come on. That's not going to get the job done.
So OG, like real quick, Kev. OG, I mean, Randle is an 8-year pro. He's an NBA vet.
I dig it.
We got to take the pamper off of him. You got to take the pamper off of him. That was inexcusable for last season.
I get it. And we don't know, anything that went on behind closed doors or anything like that. But I mean, but you were saying, you screamed at this guy, you got to scream at this guy too. You got to address everybody differently. You know what I'm saying? You can't, you might be able to yell at Obi, and he can take it. Maybe you can't do that with Miles McBride. Or maybe you can't do that with Jericho Sims because the way that they react is different. You know what I'm saying?
But these are grown. Okay, I gotta push back on you just a little bit, Sim. I mean, these are grown men, and you are on an NBA team.
Okay.
Okay, you should be able to be coached no matter what. So,
But coaching don't
I
mean
gotta have
yelling.
the-
Coaching doesn't always mean screaming. Coaching means that you address each player at their level. That's coaching.
So Sim, let me ask you, on the way you coach, so you're telling me that all the players that you've coached, you've had to coach them differently
Yes.
and not on.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because you have some players who are more sensitive than others. You have some players who are.
Then what do you play?
You have some players who are at different developmental levels than others. Right? So you've got to address them differently. You can't address everybody exactly the same.
Okay, so why did it work for Pat Riley and work, somewhat for Jeff Van Gundy?
I don't think he coached everybody the same. You think he coached Patrick Ewing the same way that he coached Derek Harper? No. Not at all.
Nah, he got
Come on,
I will
man.
say this. I think they are making valid points. I wouldn't say yelling per se, but I think there was a lack of accountability in some instances.
Yes.
I think he didn't even sit Randle independently for bad play or whatever until after he sat the whole starting unit. Like he had to do this whole starting unit before he was able to sit Randle individually, which came later on in the season.
I agree.
So I think there was some lapses in accountability, but I don't think that is something that is rare throughout the league. You know what I mean? Coaches make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
They make the wrong decision here and there. You know what I mean? It's really about learning from it and adjusting from it and figuring it out. So I will say that though.
Nah, I'm with you 100%. I agree 100% there. Go ahead, Steph.
I was just going to add, and somebody said it in the chat, I should have started that, every coach is not Pop. Every coach doesn't have that backing of their front office where they can do whatever they want. They could suspend a player. They could take a player out, sit him down, don't play him for the rest of the game. We don't know if Tibbs have that type of clout with Randle. Because remember, Randle has allies in high places. Dolan, Worldwide West, he has allies in high places. Can Tibbs get away with that? Because that would be embarrassing. Even if it's not embarrassing, it brings a lot of media. I don't know if Tibbs is in that position. So I think it's Tibbs and the front office. The front office would have to be able to tell him, if you want to suspend him, you can. If you want to sit him down, you can. That's the same thing. We talked about this in LA when I forget the coach, he's not there anymore. When it came to Westbrook, he had to get front office approval to not play Westbrook in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and that's something too that I don't really like.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think a player, I don't care how much they get paid. The coach is that's the person. That's the person with the authority. You know what I'm saying? I don't think a player should have so much power that they can, that the coach has to get permission to sit them. And I know you're not saying it's exactly like that, but you just don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, like what State said, that instance when Randle knocked that laptop, something should have happened right there, and it didn't.
I agree. It should have. Something should have happened. Something should have happened, right? Something should have happened.
And honestly, I think that's what started my disdain, of him.
But is that but then again, like I think was I'm sorry, Tony. Like I think what State's saying is that your disdain of Randle. All right, Randle made an emotional mistake. He shouldn't have did it. He shouldn't have did it, right? But then the organization should be able to say, well, we got to hold him accountable because if we allow him to do that, then everybody else is going to be able to think that they can do it, right?
I say it's on both sides.
Okay.
But then management should have stepped in.
Okay, let me get to this phone call right quick, then I'm going to come to State. Caller, you're live. Tell me your name and where you're from, please. Hey, my man, you there?
Me?
Yes, sir. You there? What's going on?
Oh, man, Sim, what's happening, man?
I'm good. Who am I speaking with?
This is Murdoch. I came at the perfect time. What's up, panel?
Appreciate you.
Peace, fam.
What's going on, Queen? What's going on, everybody?
I'm good.
Hey, everything's everything, my brother.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm
What we
good,
talking about? Keeping Randle or dumping him?
Keeping him or dumping him? Talk to us.
Nah, I think I usually hate on Randle, but I think we gonna keep him, man. We gonna keep him just because we got Brunson, though.
Okay.
And long as Brunson bring up the ball and Randle ain't waiting for the run the point forward thing, I think we gonna be all right.
All right.
That 2010 Randle that he drops, I think that's going to work for us, man. Him and Brunson and RJ, I think that's going to work for us, man.
Okay. What about do you think having Brunson changes his attitude? And my man Joe Buckets, thank you for being a member for 6 months. He said, I'm all for dumping Randle. He said, I don't like his attitude. His body language doesn't scream winner to me. Do you think having Jalen Brunson, Rick Brunson, them guys there, do you think it helps Julius Randle change his attitude, change his body language, this and that?
Yeah, it takes the pressure off him. I think being a number one scorer and the pressure and everything, I think that really got to him. I think Brunson is going to really take that pressure off him, bringing it,
Okay.
bringing the ball up court, making the offense flow.
Uh-huh.
It's just I think it was a lot of pressure on him just being that number one. He ain't a number one,
Right.
So
on offense, man.
So next year though, I mean, with this team as currently constructed, is Jalen Brunson your number one? I mean, he's gonna have the ball. He's gonna be your facilitator, but who's the number one scorer?
I think it's gonna be any given night. Either one is gonna take over because I think Brunson's gonna average about 20 points a game.
Okay.
I think he's gonna average 20. I think RJ gonna get in his 18, and Randle gonna have his little 20 a game. I think that even any given night, somebody's gonna take over. But I think Brunson is just gonna hold it together. Like when we need a last second shot, when we need this, it ain't gonna be up to Randle to force it and shoot his fade away and do all that stuff. I think Brunson's just gonna keep the team solid,
Okay. All right. Last question before I let you go. I'm gonna get the state. Do you think Randle was okay with that?
Yeah, I think once he see it's working, he's gonna be okay with it. I think he's gonna once he see, because I think Brunson is gonna show him. He's gonna take over when they need it. He's gonna believe in him, like how Jordan wasn't passing the ball to his teammates. I think once Brunson proves that he's gonna be solid, then he's gonna respect his game. He's gonna respect his leadership as that point guard.
Okay.
I think he's gonna start running up the court and letting Brunson bring it up. He don't want that pressure on him, and I think that's why he folded. He acted out last year, man, because that pressure started to get to him.
Yeah. Okay.
Being
All
that
right.
head guy, I think Brunson's gonna take that load off him a little bit.
All right. Cool. Hey, my man, I appreciate you. Let me go over here and get the state. All right.
Another thing.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, OG. Another thing about Randle is he doesn't speak much. So when I say speak much, like after the season that you had, I haven't heard from you personally in like 2 to 3 months. Can you at least say something? Like you at least say, yo, last season, it was a bad season, but I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna bounce back, and I'm gonna give it a go. I don't want to see pictures of him working out. I don't want to see none of that. I just want to see him come into work, put on his hard hat, and go to work. I don't even care about his numbers. And I think that's the best reason why we got Brunson, right? Is because you want to impact Julius Randle and RJ Barrett. But specifically Julius Randle, now he doesn't have to go to post-game presses, right? Because Jalen Brunson can handle that. Now he doesn't have to worry about bringing up the ball. Jalen Brunson can handle that. I think the scoring opportunities also for this team as a whole can be big. I got a hot take.
Uh-oh.
So Mitchell Robinson, I feel like Mitchell Robinson has the best chance to be an all-star next season, next to Jalen Brunson. That's if everything go the way I think it's going to go. Because I think the logical thing is, since you got Randle and RJ in the front court, I would start personally Quentin Grimes or Cam Reddish. But if everything go the way I think it's going to go, remember all those mismatches Mitchell Robinson used to have in the paint when he seals off a smaller guard, and we like, why is nobody passing him the ball? So he's going to get 10 points easy off dump offs, easy. And I feel like Jalen Brunson, he's going to have the biggest impact on our front court. So hopefully, Mitchell Robinson, I hope he's listening. You know, I appreciate that he re-signed. You know, I fought Eru off for months, saying re-sign my boy. I said to Eru, if we re-sign Mitch for 4 years, $60 million, he deserves every single penny that he get.
You've been on record on that.
We subjected that young man to Alfred Payton, Kemba, Frank Ntilikina, and I love Frank Ntilikina. Trey Burke, he deserves his money. He was top 5 in field goal percentage, top 5 in block percentage, top 5 in blocks total, top 5 in blocks and steals total. Like, give my man some respect. So, getting back to our front court as a whole, I like the fit, man. Hey, if Randle comes back, I'm ready to go to war with him, but he can't act out. I need him to shut up. Just come to work and shut up.
So what are your expectations for his production? And do you expect him to get back to, I'm not even going to say All-NBA, do you expect him to get back to All-Star level? Obviously, we want him to, but do you expect him to get back to All-Star level?
So for Randle, for me, it's not about box score numbers. It's about if he can affect winning. I think winning numbers from him on like a great team is like 16 and 12 on great efficiency. But at the same time, if Brunson can unlock Randle, he could be even better. And at the same time, we got Obi Toppin. So now it falls back to the elephant in the room, OG. So I shoot a question back at you.
Okay.
We got the 64-year-old head coach in Tom Thibodeau.
Right.
Do you think that he will run an innovative offense that Jalen Brunson can thrive in? Because he thrived in the 5-out last season. I already write the numbers on that. I just don't got it in front of me. So
I do. See, I actually believe that Tom Thibodeau is the kind of coach that is going to play to the player. He's going to coach to the players that he has. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, everyone is mad that, oh, he didn't do this, he didn't do that, he didn't use this guy and that guy. And I'm not saying he's perfect and he couldn't have did some things. But, okay, so everybody gets mad at the talent that we have, but then expect Tom Thibodeau to work magic with us not having, you know, supposedly not having talent. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, if he doesn't have this player and that player and this kind of talent, do you expect him to work that kind of magic? I mean, like we was talking earlier, State, since Tom Thibodeau's been here, the Knicks overall got a winning record. Like it or not, 78-76, people might not like it and say, oh, that's trash, but they got a winning record over the last 2 years that he's been here. That's got to count for something. You know what I'm saying? We've seen a little bit more in the offense last year, right? You know, a little bit more with Evan Fournier, a little bit more with Quentin Grimes and the way that he did some things. We've seen at the end of the year, RJ had the ball in his hands more, right? So you've seen that offense starting to expand. Why would I not think that it could expand more with Jalen Brunson having the ball and Tom Thibodeau saying, okay, now we got a point guard that can do some things out there. You know what I mean? Go ahead, you're muted, State. Yeah.
So real quick, and this is for anyone of y'all to answer, right? OG, just respect to all the OGs. If you're a Knicks fan who's above 50 years old, I would like for you to put a thumbs up in the chat or show me some love. Put the Statue of Liberty in the chat, right?
There we go.
If you're an OG and a youngin, say you 50 plus years old, and a youngin come up to you and he try to tell you, yo, you need to change your ways. What you gonna tell that youngin as an OG? So why would I believe that the 64-year-old head coach is gonna go into next season and not overplay Randle, have Jalen Brunson standing at the 3-point line, you know, overplaying his players? I seen a game, this is laughable, it was late April. He played Alec Burks 38 minutes in a late April game, and he's 10 games under. What are we doing here? See, stuff like that is madness. I cannot have that with him next season. On top of the fact, this is his last coaching job. So Tibbs
Might be.
needs to play to win. I don't need, you got Brunson, so it should be no excuses. So
I'm gonna say one name to you, State. I'm gonna say one name as to why he could. First of all, I don't know if he has to change. I think that he coaches to the team that he has. I do, right? But if you say that he has to change, I'll take your word for it. Tom Coughlin. I'll leave it there. Tom Coughlin. Tom Coughlin. Did he not
so
change?
I get one rebuttal.
But did he not change? Okay, yep. But did he not change?
He changed. But you changed with Hall of Famers on your defense, OG. Why are you doing that?
But he changed. He changed. Regardless of who he has, he changed. He changed.
When you got a Michael Strahan, I mean.
He changed. Hold
on. You got to be very. Hold on.
And look, I'm just saying.
He had one Hall of Famer.
He changed.
2 Hall of Famers.
Right? He listened to his team. Said, "Hey, we need something different." Put together a little group of players to say, "All right, you guys are gonna be my voice back to the players, and you guys be the players' voice back to me." And he was able to change. They're both of their names are Tom. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see.
But I think that Tom Thibodeau coaches to the team that he has. And, everybody's saying that we don't have these great players. We didn't have these, this player, that player. Maybe he just coached to the team that he had. And, we'll see. We'll see what happens this year. Big Bubba, what's going on, man? Actually, before I get to you, let me get to the caller. Then I'm going to get to Big Bubba. Caller, what's popping with you? What's your name and where you from?
Yeah, this is Ozzy, man, Sims.
What's going on with you, man?
Queens. Yeah, so big up to Sims, Tony Crow, the Queen, Stephanie, and Big Bubba. I see you get your butt whipped there by Sims down in that pickup game. State of the New York, the Cornerstone Kev. Okay, what's the question about Randle you guys talking about now?
Are we keeping him or are we dumping him?
I think we should keep him because we have the player. We have the point guard that we need to put him in line right now.
Okay. All right. Hey, listen, you know what? Let me say this. I'm looking in the chat right now. We have a poll up, 558 votes on the poll. 58% say dump him, 42% say keep him. Way more than I thought it would be. If you haven't voted, ladies and gentlemen, vote. Tell me why you say, basically you're saying because of Jalen Brunson, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
We have a point guard that is going to organize this offense. He can score. The man he can score the ball. He can dribble. He could pass. That's a point that we need in crunch time.
Yeah.
We don't have to make Randle bring the ball up no more. We normally call him no angle Randle because he turns the ball over when he's under pressure. When he's under pressure, he turns the ball over.
Right.
He makes bad decisions, and he doesn't make quick decisions when there's pressure. With a Brunson on this team, he will organize the offense. He'll make players better. The guys will be better around him. He could push the ball. I could see him and Toppin quickly. If they're out there together, this team would flow better. Because there's no time for the opposing team to set their defense. Because if you push the ball, run in transition, we have that point guard who can do that for us.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I do want to, and I'm going to come around and ask everybody. I'll start with Big Bubba on this, but I want to ask you, then I'm going to get to Big Bubba. Do you want, State brought it up, do you want Julius Randle to address the fans anytime before the season starts? Do you want him to address the fans, and not give an excuse about, well, here's the reason why I played like this or that, but just address the fans and kind of acknowledge last season? What do you think that would help with the fan base going forward?
Personally,
Can I
I
go
think
first?
he should.
Say that again.
Yeah, personally, I think Randle shouldn't bring up the past.
Okay.
He should just come out fresh
Okay.
and say, look, what happened last year is in the past. Try and win the fan over and just talk, tell the fan what he's going to do this year. I'm coming out to play. I'm here to make this New York team win,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll do everything in my power to make this team a success. We know the point guard that can take the pressure off all of us.
Mm-hmm.
A point guard that we need. So you shouldn't be going back in the past. You should just come out and say, guys, let's move on and start playing ball.
Okay. All right. Hey, my man, I appreciate your time. All right. I appreciate your time. Thank
Okay.
you. And hopefully you call back.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
All right, Tony, you was going to say something?
Yeah, my bad. I didn't even realize he was still on the phone. I thought you said you was asking the panel. Yeah. I'm sorry. What was the question again? Because I lost my train of thought.
Do you want Randle to address the fans?
Oh yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Let your game do all the talking. You obviously you've tried to address it once after the case and in a leave it alone type of response, and I think the fans that don't like you, the fans that are over with you, the fans that want to dump you, they're gonna want to dump you regardless. There's nothing you can say at this point to change their minds.
Mm-hmm.
It's really about how you perform on the court. So you don't have to address it. I used to want him to, but I think it could potentially cause more harm than good. Whereas not saying anything and just performing, it cannot cause any harm at all. It can only be good.
Okay. All right. Big Bubba in the building. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, son? You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, Big Bubba.
No, I'm not
Oh,
talking to you,
man.
Kev. Kev, I'm not talking to you, Kev. You didn't come, Kev. I'm not talking to you. Only talk to people that
Let's
went to
leave
the
that
event.
whole little segment out the way. Go ahead, man.
What's up, Steph? What up, State? What up, Tony? Nah, honestly, Sim, I'm with y'all. There's no point in talking about it. Just play. If you play, no one's gonna talk about last year. You know what I'm saying? You know what scares me? Only thing that scares me, though, Sim, because me and you talked about it before. I do feel like he'll be better with a point guard. This is the first time he's gonna be playing with a point guard for a long time. I think it's gonna be beneficial for Randle. The only thing that scares me, man, is his emotions, man. I don't want to base a season off emotion, man. I don't want to base a season off if he's going to be okay, because it's going to be tough. And it's going to be in an awkward position because, some people were complaining about, just him in the front, like, for example, Thibs not handling him. I thought he handled him the best he can. When you deal with a guy that's that emotional, you can't yell at him like you yell. You can't yell. Thibs can't yell at him like he yells at RJ. He knows he can yell at RJ. He knows RJ can take it. He knows that if he yells at Randle, because at the end of the day, right? He knows Randle better than all of us. You know what I mean? He knows. We can speculate. We can think he acts like this. Listen, we don't know. Again, I'm not gonna see how. I'm not gonna see how he is when he comes to, his emotions and everything. That's just him. But that's just him. But Thibs handled him how the best he knows him well. So I'm finding a way. Again, the laptop thing, I would have probably suspended him a game. But again, we don't know how he would have handled that. He could have. We don't know.
Yeah, I dig it.
That's why I say people got to understand, man. When you listen, I know Sim, you've been on teams. I know Steph has been on teams. Kev was a community college church league champion. We know he was. we know he was on the team, and Sim, we all know we've been with we all been with guys on guys.
Nice.
We've been on teams with guys and girls. That there's some people that you can't, like, during the game you can't even talk to because they're gonna bug out.
No,
Or
yeah. I'm
you know, but you also know there's the guy that you can hype yourself up, you can yell at them and all that stuff. You know you can do that with guys. So you know it's just when you play sports, you know that there's different type of people on all different type of
right,
teams,
right.
know?
So Cornerstone, let me ask you, Cornerstone, do you want to hear from Randle?
To me, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't, because like was it Big Bubba or was it Tony that said that let your play do your talking for you. It's not for words. You just gotta play.
Yeah.
But guys, I gotta push back. I gotta push back on what you guys were saying about the coaching. I mean, in the end, the coach is the guy or girl or woman that's going to lead that team. They're the ones that are in charge. And if you're not showing that respect towards your coach, that's a problem. You saw what happened with Brooklyn. Kyrie said that they didn't need a coach, and look where they are. Right
that's
now.
a whole different level of disrespect.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, and it goes back to what I was talking about with Randle. When he did what he did, management should have stepped right in. Coach should have stepped right in, and I've been on record about this. I think Coach afraid of Randle. I really do. Because of that, right there. Just because of that right there. I don't buy the notion that each player should be coached differently. I
They
think
should.
that
How can you
I think
Wait, Kev, hold on, Kev.
Can I finish? Can I finish? I'll let you finish. Let me finish. All I'm going to say is, if there's one goal for a team to reach that pinnacle, they all have to be on the same page.
Okay, so I think, and let me know if I'm wrong, okay? I think what you're saying is each player should be held to the same standard, not coached differently. There's a difference between the two, right? Being held to the same standard and being coached differently are two different things. All right, everybody should be held to the same standard. I agree, but you still might be coached differently.
Okay,
you know what I mean.
Okay,
that's.
Hey Sam, I gotta look right, and I'm just to tell what Kev said. So I do agree with you. There should be a standard, right? There is a standard that they all play with, but also you have to coach everybody different, because you want to know why? Everybody's different. For a great example, Sim, right? Sim runs the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
He treats me differently than how he treats Tony. He treats me differently how he treats Steph. Even though I'm the best person here, but you know what I'm saying? But it works because we're all different people. We all click differently. If you want to keep it to sports, right? Bill Parcells. I'll tell you a great story about Bill Parcells, Hall of Fame coach.
Right.
The way he treated Lawrence Taylor. All the stories that he told about Lawrence Taylor, how listen, there was a story Bill Belichick said that Lawrence Taylor was sleeping during a defensive end meeting, right? At a linebacker meeting. He was sleeping. Bill Belichick goes to Bill Parcells and be like, "Hey, Lawrence Taylor was sleeping. What should I do?" You know what Bill Parcells said to him?
What?
Why you start the meeting 5 minutes earlier, so that way he was awake? He teaches him differently. But guess what though? He knows that Lawrence Taylor is gonna go out there and give you 7 sacks, two interceptions, and a touchdown, and kill your quarterback. But you got to treat these guys differently. You have to, because everybody's different. Everybody's not gonna be the same. Listen, one of the best examples I've seen this year with Tom Thibodeau, right? It was the beginning of the game. Everybody heard it. He heard Thib said, "RJ, wake the F up." We all heard that during the game. He told him to wake up. But guess what though? That's how RJ responds. RJ's been going through multiple interviews and said he likes the way Coach K yells at him. He likes the way his coaches yell at him. He likes the way he is a guy that needs a coach to yell at him.
That's how it be sometimes.
Randle's the type of guy that he might not like to be yelled at.
Right.
And that's okay because he just not he. Listen, that's just how some people are. Some people listen. I watch Undisputed with Shannon Sharp. He used to tell you, he'll tell you straight up. When I used to play, don't yell at me. I'm a grown man. You a grown man. You can talk to me regular. You can talk to me how you like a regular person. You don't have to yell at me. Some players are just different.
But the coach is just trying to make them better. That's all they're trying to do.
But there's different ways to be able to make a player better. So you got to push different buttons. Just like every game is not going to come in with the same strategy. You're going to have a different strategy for every game. Steph, I want to come around to you, and you can go back and answer that question if you want to. And after you, I'm going to come to the caller and ask the caller the same question, and I'll get around to everybody. Is Julius Randle a cornerstone of this team? For now and the future, do you consider him one of the cornerstones of this team?
That's a tough question. I think a lot of it depends on how he shows up next season. But if he shows up right, yeah. I don't think he's a number one. I don't think he's a number one, but yeah, I think he is, depending on how he shows up in terms of his emotions. But talent-wise, yes. You take the ball out of his hands. We're doing that. This is somebody, he's going to be able to get you 20. It's not even the stats. He makes things easier for everybody else because he commands a lot of attention. And that's going to open up things for our wing plays. That's going to open up that's going to open up shots for our wing players. So I do see him, yes, being a cornerstone, but not a number one. We got to go out and get that player.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think there's going to be some interesting answers to that question going around. I want to get to this first. This is a good one. And I like the example that you brought up because I'm going to answer it by asking you a question, Brandon. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. He said, what do you think would have happened to Randle if he was playing for Miami and he slapped Spo's clipboard? I remember a big argument last year versus Golden State. Well, what happened when, who was going after Spo this year?
Butler.
Butler, right? What happened to Butler?
The team, the team went after.
The team,
right?
Right.
Team went after. Yeah,
went after Butler.
But there was no disciplinary action, right?
There were no consequences. That was worse than slapping the laptop. And I know people that say, "Well, he's not Jimmy Butler." I get it, but he brought up Miami. Nothing happened to Jimmy Butler in that aspect. Besides, Udonis Haslem was ready to stick up for Jimmy Butler.
For Spo.
For Spo was ready to stick up for Spo.
Yeah. Hey guys, I gotta go, but do I believe he could be a cornerstone? It remains to be seen. I gotta wait. So by All-Star break, I'll let you know if he could be a cornerstone.
No.
Wait. Are we gonna allow him, Mr. Cornerstone himself?
Right.
Yeah.
Come on now.
The coined man.
Hey. One of my
You was giving cornerstones out like they was candy.
My cornerstone got resigned. My cornerstone got resigned.
He was giving them cornerstones out. Everything. Ron Baker is a cornerstone. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist is a cornerstone in the defense.
Tory Murray was a cornerstone.
Everybody was a cornerstone.
Look under your seat. There's a cornerstone there.
Yeah, I bet you thought Andy Roughton was a cornerstone of the team.
Frank Ntilikina. That's
Is Hartenstein a cornerstone?
No, he's not. Goodbye, guys. Take care. Take care.
All right, let me get to the caller. Caller, you're live. Tell me your name and where you're from, please. Caller, you there? Guess we're missing out on the caller. I'll come around. Steph, I already asked you, Steph. Tony.
Yes.
Talk to me, Tony. Is Julius Randle a cornerstone of the team?
I agree. That is a great question. I'm gonna say as of right now, yes. But guess what? Cornerstones can be replaced. I'll say that. Sometimes when you modifying your house, you might have to start there. he might have to start with a cornerstone. So I say he is, but that doesn't make him irreplaceable or upgradable.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it is tough to say. It is tough to say whether or not he's a cornerstone because, he's been with the Knicks for 3 seasons. Everyone says the first season was terrible. I don't think it was terrible. The turnovers, he averaged 3 turnovers a game. People didn't like that. I didn't think it was terrible season. You know what I mean? I didn't think it was terrible. He was paying him $19 million. I didn't think it was terrible. He gave you 20, 10, 3 assists, 3 turnovers. I didn't think it was a terrible season for him like people make it out to be, in my opinion. It's hard to give 20 and 10 in the NBA.
I understand that, but his 20, 10, and 5, his play style is it's not winning basketball at times. Like, he holds the ball for 15 seconds. Who am I supposed to blame for that? Tibbs or Randle?
Well, at that time, it was
he don't hustle back on
another
defense.
coach.
He blames other people for his defensive mistakes. And you don't tell me shut that f up, and then the very next game you go 1 for 9. Like, come on, bro. And you got to be better than that, bro. And then the crazy part is around the trade deadline, he started playing poorly, and then right after the trade deadline, he started picking it up again and averaging like 29. Like, what is wrong with this guy? Like, I didn't like his last.
Maybe it's part of growth and development, though.
Okay.
I mean, maybe it is. I know people gonna be like, "Oh, he's 27 years old. He ain't growing," but you're still growing and developing as a player.
He can still get better. I mean, he can still get better, but what does that mean for Obi Toppin? So why would you pick Obi Toppin 8? You just wasted a lottery pick.
I mean, I don't know what that means for Obi.
Can't Obi still get better?
Obi could get better too.
Can't they both get better at the same time?
I love the question. They can, but do you trust Tibbs to do that? I don't.
Wait, but hold on.
I think
Obi got better last. Obi didn't get better last.
On record. What'd you say, Sam?
No, I said Obi didn't get better last year.
Yes,
he got better.
Steve.
And Tibbs is on record. Real quick, Tibbs is on record in acknowledging Obi's growth and that maybe he should have played them more. After his performances at the end of the season. So I think Tibbs doesn't go on record saying that if he doesn't mean it.
So
wait. I guess can I say something? Because every time I see you, I feel like you're getting more and more into surgery. So I don't know exactly. So if you got listen, I hope to pray that person's a Knicks fan that you're taking care of. No, but
I hope it's not Randle.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, me too. No, so this is the notion that I feel like we got to get away from this myth, man, that Tom Thibodeau don't develop these players because these guys have gotten better under Thibs, man. I hate that because he's not a quote unquote developmental coach that we don't say he's developing these players. Because let's say we take Thibs out of this, right, and we put Kenny Atkinson in that. I almost can guarantee if people saw the way Obi was playing, the way RJ was playing towards the end of the season, Emmanuel quickly, everybody would say, "Oh man, look at Kenny. He's developing these players." He did it. Because Thibs is not a quote unquote developmental coach, we don't give him the same credit because we have to give him the credit that these guys have been playing better under Thibs.
And what I will say, when they get in the game, this is how I know they working behind the scenes with them. When they get in the game, I don't see any obvious mistakes. I don't see them looking like, when Sims played, I mean, it took him a little while to warm up, but it wasn't like, yo, this guy don't even belong on the court. McBride doesn't even belong on the court. What are these guys doing? So when they came in, they looked like they belong. And that's not just Tibbs, that's the entire coaching staff.
And they knew what they were supposed to do. You know what I mean? They came in and they didn't look like deers in the headlight. Right. They didn't have to be directed. So I agree.
And he works with them prior to practice by himself, not choosing an assistant to do it. Before practice,
Yeah.
Tibbs himself works with the young players.
Yeah. So, State, is Julius Randle a cornerstone of this team?
It depends. I need management to pick a direction with Obi Toppin and Julius Randle, and then I could definitely say yes. Because they got to tell me you can't. I feel like you can't go in the next season with Obi Toppin and Randle on the same roster. It's just you do both. You do both of them a disservice unless Tibbs is willing to play them together. Because I can't go through another season of Obi playing 15 minutes a game.
I don't think he's playing
I don't
them together,
even want
bro.
to have those conversations.
I don't think he's not playing them together. Now that you got Hartenstein there, he ain't playing them together. You know that. Let me ask you this. Will Obi, do you think Obi will ever be better than Julius Randle?
That's like, yo, Randle. That's a great question.
You need help?
Yeah, I do. I kind of
Absolutely
do.
not.
Absolutely
not.
But I'm just saying, if I seen Obi starting on another team, and let's say for a coach like Mike D'Antoni or something, and he's just cutting to the basket and he got a good point guard, and I already seen the numbers that he has minutes per game. Can he impact winning more? That's what the question should be. Like, who's gonna impact winning more? I think it shouldn't be about Bosco numbers, because if you give it Bosco numbers, it's just Randle. Randle's the better player. But if Obi was in a better situation, right, where he could play 30 minutes plus per game, maybe he puts up 20 and 10. So that's why, like, a person like me, I told this to Miss Stephanie on a podcast, I think about 2 months ago. I said, like, management got to pick a direction. You got to choose between Obi and Randle. You got to trade one of those guys before the season starts. Or Tibbs has to commit to playing those two together. Because I think playing those two together would be a good lineup. You know, so we'll see.
But see,
But
go ahead, Steph.
Go ahead, Sam.
I was going to say,
quick. Yeah, go ahead, Sam. Go ahead.
I don't think you have to choose between the two right now, because I don't think Obi's putting that pressure on Julius Randle yet. I think when Obi starts to put the pressure on Randle, that's when you have to choose. Right now, he's a good backup, in my opinion. But I don't think he's putting that pressure on Randle where it's like, oh, man, like we got to have Obi out there on the floor. I don't think it's to that point yet. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he comes in this year and he's putting that pressure on Randle, now you start to say, all right, maybe we need to think about getting Obi out there and doing something with Randle. You know what I mean? But I don't think he's putting that pressure on Randle yet.
Listen, Tibbs has to commit to playing them two together. I think everybody in the chat who's saying Randle versus Obi, if you don't want it to be Randle versus Obi, and it feels that way because our coach caters to his star player. Like, he caters to the best player on the team, and I respect that. But at the same time, you got to rein it in. So it's big question marks going into next season. That's one of them.
I don't know. I mean, I just don't know if you got to choose between the two right now. I think you still have another year or two at least.
What?
I think you got another year, Lewis, before Obi's putting that kind of pressure on Randle.
The only way you could say to me, Obi getting 17 to 20 minutes per game next season is if we have 60 wins. That's the only way you could justify that.
He's not getting 20 minutes if they're not playing them together. Because in order for him to get 20, that means Julius is getting 28, and that's not happening.
Nah, that's
not happening. That's not happening. I don't see, like you talked about impact. I don't see Obi having that impact on the game that Randle does.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Because he doesn't have that gravity.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
What? I mean, but hold on. You just said it's not about the numbers, but then you said, well, if you give him 30 minutes, he's going to score as much. It's not about the numbers. It's about his impact on the game. So for a lot of the fan base, the fact that when he gets it, he keeps it moving, that impacts winning. That does not impact winning. Just because you moving the ball. Obi, in order for Obi to be as good as Randle, even if he scores 20 points, it's the gravity. Does Obi command the attention of the opposing team to the point where they're game planning for him? Is he going to draw a double team and then that now opens up his teammates? This is what we're talking about when you're talking about being a star player and operating on that level. So, yeah, and you said it yourself. If he's in a D'Antoni system where you're running up and down the court, absolutely he can get 20 points. That's playing to his strength. But if Obi wants to be a basketball player, he needs to expand his game. That means he needs to be able to play in the half court as well, because he can shoot the three. Now you could play him in the half court. There don't have to be any special situations. Oh, we got to run with Obi. Oh, he got to play with IQ. No. If you're a basketball player, you understand the game. It doesn't matter who you play with. You can play full court. You could play in transition. You could play in the half court. Now, you might be better in one or the other, but it's not a situation where they have to sit you down.
Wait, Miss Stephanie, can I fight back against that?
Absolutely.
Exactly what you just said is reserved for superstar basketball players. We have no superstar on this team. We have no star on this team. So who are we?
He's our best player, though, and he has that gravity.
Exactly.
When the Knicks are playing, who's number one on the scouting report? Randle. Who's getting double teamed? Randle. Now, I agree that he's not a number one overall on a championship team. I agree with that. But he has that gravity and that respect of the opposing teams, and that's what opens up plays for the rest of the team. Obi is not there yet, and you can argue that Obi is being hidden right now because he doesn't have that type of attention, and that when he gets that type of attention on a consistent basis, he may not perform as well. Let Obi marinate a little more. Let him develop his footwork. Let him start hitting that three-point shot, and gradually allow him to come into his own.
If he was a 20-year-old,
that oppresses.
If he was 21, cool. He 24 going on 25 with two kids.
But this is the point I'm making. Whose fault is that he came into the league at 22, 23 on the developmental trajectory of a 19-year-old? So if that's the case, the Knicks, when they drafted him, they expected him to be further along. He could at least give him 12 and 6. He came in here like IQ came in here. He came in here like an 18-year-old. That was not expected. And that's why he's aging, because it's taken him years and years, a few years, I should say, to get up to speed and develop his game.
But that's not on Tibbs to play him more minutes, Miss Stephanie. Tibbs got to play him
the minutes. And you could develop. That's another myth, in my opinion. Give me one more, Isaiah. And that's it. I ain't gonna say
Mama, you got it, Mama. Don't you worry, you got it. Take it.
To me, that's another myth, that the more minutes you get, the faster you're gonna develop. Like if you get 30 minutes, you're gonna develop twice as fast as the person who's getting 15 minutes. No, it's levels to this. So you get your time, whether it's 6, 8, 12, whatever it is, you get to understand the speed of the game, what's expected, how to run the plays, whatever. You go into the off season, you build on that. Hopefully you get more time. The game is not your personal playground where you're not ready, but we just give you some minutes to help you get ready. No, it's the opposite. You earn it, you get it, you build on it. That's how it works.
So
I just want to add, and if you're ready, sometimes you still got to wait for your opportunity. So guess what? At that point, you got to stay ready. And then you got to take advantage of the opportunity once it's given to you. That's one thing that I feel bad with Obi, because he needed to know his spot was secure for him to get the confidence to come out and play to his strengths. I think it's more than just the minutes that did it. It was him not looking over his shoulder. But sometimes you can't look over your shoulder. You got to take advantage of the opportunity that's given to you, whether it's 5 minutes, whether it's 15 minutes, whether it's 20 minutes. And then you make it difficult. Then you make the coach make that decision.
Also too, we gotta here's a big myth about coaching, right? let any coach tell you, they are not worrying. They want to win. I forgot. Greg Popovich did an interview a couple years ago where they said something about development. He said, "No, I want to win." And he had young guys. He wants to win. These guys want to win. First of all, these guys are coaching for their jobs. You know what I'm saying? They're not getting paid 25, 30 million. You know, there's probably wholeheartedly in the NBA right now. There's probably about 3 coaches that won't get fired. That's Greg Popovich, Steve Kerr, and Spoelstra. Those are probably the only 3 coaches in the NBA that are not going to get fired.
And you might be right about that. You might. Let me get to this call. Let me get to this caller here.
Queen and Nurse probably too in Toronto.
Yeah,
I was gonna say Nurse too,
yeah.
but also real quick, Sim. I'll say this: what a lot of people expected Obi to be is what the kid from Indiana is doing right now. The 22-year-old, the 23-year-old, what's the kid name?
Duarte.
Chris Duarte.
Yeah, that's what we wanted Obi to be. We wanted Obi to be the plug-in power forward to get you, maybe a cool 15, 16 points off the rip. Didn't happen. Sometimes that's how it goes.
Yeah. Let me get to this caller. Caller, you're live. Tell me your name and where you're from, please.
Hey, what's good, man? This is G.
What's going on,
from
G?
Woodside, from Queens, shout out to Queens.
What's going on?
What was the last thing y'all was talking about?
We're talking about Randle and Obi. If Obi is putting pressure on Randle to take that spot, all of that. Does Obi got to get more minutes in lieu of Randle? Can they play together? All of that.
Yeah, I think Randle, he got to show up more. Of course, we're going to see hopefully next season. That man better work on his right hand all season, or like RJ. He definitely showing his right hand in the game. But I think Obi deserves a shot too. Like y'all was saying earlier, I think what's it called? Obi needs to really prove to the team that he can play. If he's producing a lot better in the season against what's this guy? Randle.
Mm-hmm.
But man, if Randle doesn't show up, dump him. He's got to work on his right hand.
Well, I mean, yeah. Listen, if Randle comes out and he's not, and you see, okay, this is another season, he's really not, he's not what we need. Then yeah, you make that move without a doubt. But then you got to figure out who's going to be that, like Steph says, who's going to be that person that has the kind of gravity that it's going to attract the defense. So you can kick it out, so you can open it up out on the outside, make the defense shift and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, if Randle doesn't show up that energy, unlike when Obi comes out, he definitely brings the crowd in and just hypes up the whole team. And
that's cool and all. That's cool and all. Getting the crowd hype and all of that is cool, but it's got to impact winning basketball games. You know what I mean? And Randle's got to impact winning basketball games too. Oh, he's got to earn his shot. I don't think we got to give it to him. I think he's got to earn it. And I see people in the chat saying, we want Obi traded and all of that. It doesn't have anything to do with that. Nothing to do with that. But my man, I thank you for the call. All right, we got a couple more people calling in. I want to read off some super chats. So I appreciate your time. Appreciate your patience as well.
All right,
appreciate it. Let me see what we got here. Where we at? SB Gorilla, thank you for the super chat. He said you can't put pressure on Randle when you don't play enough. As far as Randle, oh, wait a minute. I can't see what I'm looking. There we go. As far as Randle speaking, it doesn't matter. Play bad, the crowd is going to kill him. I agree. It doesn't matter if he says anything or not. If he doesn't play well, he's going to get killed. Nikki B from Harlem. I hate to say it to you, State. I hate to tell you, State. But in the chat, they said the Queen she put on a masterclass talking about Obi. Trav B, thank you for the super chat. He said that's why they call it a Queen Steph. A couple other people, State said, she tore you up on that one, State. SB Gorilla said there's been times where Obi has killed without quick. Those games where he scored 12 points in 7 minutes and never seen the floor again. It's not just about the points, though. You can come out and score 12 points in 7 minutes. That's cool. It's got to be about other parts of the game. I mean, I get it. There are times that I did believe that Obi should have played more. I'm not going to lie. You know what I mean? Jay Williams said you put pressure in practice. I agree. That's where you put pressure.
Hey, Sim, listen, you can score to a point. You can give up 20 points on the other end, too.
Yeah.
And also one more thing. Y'all better stop. You better so on state, yo, because if y'all go to that hospital and y'all need help, remember the Queen.
Then you better take care of me. This is not personal.
Listen, I know he gonna take care of you, Queen. He gonna take care of you. I'm talking about the rest of y'all better relax because I don't know what hospital y'all in, but y'all in New York, y'all better relax.
In the chat right now, as far as the poll, Julius Randle, keep him a dump on 57% say dump. 43% say keep. 786 votes, 789 votes. So that's a good sample size. You know what I'm saying? That's a pretty good sample size. It's not too bad for keeping him. And I think the addition of Jalen Brunson has probably changed a lot of people's mind and just wanting to see what Julius Randle can do with having a guy like Jalen Brunson on the team. You know what I mean? To see if he can, a lot of people say play more like he played when he was in New Orleans. But, when you look at New Orleans and, the numbers were similar. He shot a little bit better from the field. I think he was like 53% from the field. Still wasn't good from the three-point line. He was a little bit better, about 33%. I would like to see us get that Randle that's giving us 53 points. I mean, 53 points. 53% from the field.
Please let him get 53 points. We get 53 points. We had a good.
Right.
We had a good.
53% from the field, 33% from the 3-point line, shooting well from the free throw line. Turnovers are going to happen when you have the ball a lot in your hands. You know what I mean?
But Sim, you know what?
That Randle.
But Sim, here's a big thing, right? Here's a big thing. People don't like to hear this. Last season was his worst shooting season of his career.
Of his career, right?
Of his career, it was his worst.
Right.
So again, we talked about it. His average shooting is 46%, 47%.
Yeah, I know.
That's what he averages. So again, right, we're praying that that was the outlier, and that we could be a happy medium. Look, I'm comfortable with, like you said, Sam. I'll be real. Look, with Jalen Brunson, I'm expecting him to be in the 50s, shooting percent.
Okay.
I want him to be.
Wow, that would be great.
I want him to be border 40. I want the worst to be 47. I believe the best can be 51 to 52. With Jalen Brunson.
Okay,
that's what I expect from him.
All right. Let me see what else. I want to put this up here real quick.
Sam, I just wanted to point out to Isaiah that I'm pretty sure State took an oath, so you guys do not gotta worry about him.
Right.
Dropping the ball.
Hey, Tony, I'm in Connecticut. I got Yale. I'm good, brother.
My man C-Mac said, keep him or dump him. Big Bubba on the basketball court. Whew, Big Bubba, I don't know. I ain't even gonna go.
Hey, I got 6. Hold on, Sam. I want to make something very clear. I got 6 points. I worked for those 6. I did my thing. I got you with that one move. I'm gonna take that one move. I got you with that one move. I got you with that one move. Steph was killing me in the comments, but I fought.
I hope you frame it and then send it to Sim in the post.
Tony. You know what's funny? Shout out to Clutch B. Shout out to my man Clutch B-Boy if he's watching. He did a little edit when I shot the 3. He said "bang" with the Mike Breen voice. I appreciate Clutch.
I seen it.
Yeah, Clutch my man for that. Clutch my man for that.
Bren Dezen, he said, Juju got no more excuses. I'm with you on that. Without a doubt. No more excuses. Just, get out there and hoop. That's all I really want from him. Let me get to one more phone call. Then I think I'm going to hang it up for the night as we get ready to move on over to Knicks and Bruises. All right. But let me get to this phone call here. Caller, you're live. Tell me your name and where you're from, please. My man, are you there? Well, I guess that one's not coming on. All right, let's see if we got another one here. Call you live. Tell me your name and where you're from.
My name is Dan. I'm calling it from North Carolina.
Hey, what's going on? What's your name again?
Dan.
Darren?
Dan. D-A-N.
Dan. How you doing, Dan?
That's good. How's everybody going?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good.
Pretty good.
Now, as far as Julius and Obi, Julius, it's tough. I think we have to keep him until he gets some value, but I think he's going to get run out after overproducing faster than Mark Sanchez did with the bump fumble. So, it's tough. I think he already. It's hard to come back from that with the fans, and everybody. The one thing about Obi is they don't realize is he already has that New York state of mind. So even though he's developing, I'm hoping he gets better. But to me, I see him kind of like oh geez, I can't even think of his name right now. Dude that played with Cleveland and Portland, Larry Nance Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody thinking he's going to be a lot better, but I don't know. I see him on Larry Nance Jr. level, and we just got to see, because who's going to give us the more minutes. But I think that we need to, for right now, stick with Obi and get Julius out of town, because I don't think there's no repairing it like Sanchez with that bump fumble, because he did what he did, but it's time for him to go.
Also, the Jets didn't win, right?
But Sanchez did get him to the AFC Championship 2 years in a row.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking, afterwards. I think if Julius Randle comes back and the Knicks win games, they don't have to win the championship, but they win games, and he plays well. I think the fans will forgive him. And football is basketball. It's really hard to compare the gameplay of football and basketball, because like one fumble, is like, I mean, you can have 10 turnovers in a basketball game, doesn't equal one fumble in a football game. You understand what I'm saying? Because the possessions are so you have so many less possessions.
But I also feel too that if he came out on a public, interview or something and apologize and just be like, yo, my head wasn't right, then I think that would help out a lot. Because in all honesty, I feel that he was trying to be the savior, and he didn't rely on the other people as much, because he had a lot on him. He was trying to reproduce what he had the previous season, but he needs to learn how to depend on his teammates. And I think Jalen Brunson is going to help him. And that's why at first I was hardcore, get rid of him. But I had to stop and realize it's almost like with my kids. They do something I don't like. Instead of just reacting, I got to relax, respond, and think about the situation for a minute and try to, make it better.
Yeah.
Because, his mind wasn't right.
Yeah. Nah, I hear you. We'll see if Randle can get it right, man.
And as far as Tibbs, a lot of people saying that he's not developing the kids. I feel that he's more of a developmental coach than people give him credit for. He did it with Rose, Noah, Gibson when they was in Chicago. He's done it with other young players. He just makes them earn it. You have kids, you're not going to just give them everything. You're going to make them earn it. And I think that that's the best route, because I see when Ovi's out there, when Quickly was out there, they were fighting. They were wanting to prove themselves instead of just feeling like they earn, that they don't earn it. It's mandatory.
Yeah, well, I mean, they got to earn it. They got to earn it. And when they're on the court, they got to earn it. You know what I'm saying? They earn it in practice. Then when they get on the court, they got to prove it. But, hey, Dan, Thank you for your time.
Hey, Dan,
Appreciate
I'm sorry
you,
that
man.
you're a Jets fan. I'm sorry about that, brother. It's rough.
It's all good. But you know what? You find a good Jets fan, you're going to find a loyal person. It's just like my Knicks. As much as they've hurt me, you got to stick with it.
Still Knicks fans.
Stick with it.
Throughout all the Knicks and bruises, you're still Knicks fans. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Throughout
I like
it
that
all.
plug.
So throughout all the Knicks and bruises, you're still Knicks fans. It's nothing but Knicks. You know,
I used to get killed for the shameless plugs, but I guess it's cool for you when you do it.
Well, you know, yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Any last words, Tony? I want to jump over to you, come around with everybody. Any last words before we get out of here?
I just wanted to add that we all dope and got soul, and we talked this sport. So you know, I just want to add that. Appreciate you, Sim, as always. Shout out to the chat. Yo, Black is time, and Knicks and Bruises at 10:30. We're gonna the topic is Jalen Brunson. Is he the missing piece or is he just a piece? I'll be interested to get anybody's takes on that. See y'all there. Sim, appreciate you always, bro.
Steph, any last words?
Yeah, shout out to you, Sim. This was a great this was a great show, and somebody in the chat was like, "Why are we doing this show?" There were people in the chat who was asking for the show.
Right.
You know, we were trying to move on to the draft, but they asked for this show, and Sim delivered, and it was a good one. And I'll tell you this: as much as we may not like Randle, if he gets himself together, this team was going to move faster sooner.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, right. Faster sooner. Without a doubt. Big Bubba.
Sim, you know, they wanted this show. We knew it was going to be a long one, but, great show. Please, watch the Knicks and Bruises. I got a free shirt from Tony, so you got to get support. Queen, you killing with mine. Yeah, Queen won hers. Sim, great show as always, man. Please, y'all go get them likes up. Please, come on. Sim does it best than anybody, man. And every y'all talking junk, please face me next year tournament because I'm going to kick somebody's ass next year. Okay?
I don't know. I don't know you're going to play.
Hey, listen, if I can get 6 points on you, I know damn sure I can get. I can win some games on some people.
Okay. All right. I do want to say one last announcement, though, before I get out of here. Be on the lookout, ladies and gentlemen. You see the ad on your screen now for the first annual NBK Fam Cookout. The information will be coming soon, so be on the lookout for that information. If you're a member, you're going to get that information first so that you can sign up. All right, and then we'll get it out to everybody else. But
and guess who's on the grill?
It's going to be dope.
Is it going to be grilling with Chef Zay?
Come on, Tony. So we're not even going to talk about it, Tony. We're not even going to talk about it yet.
It's going to be dope, so be on the lookout for that. And I guess we could say this, right, Steph? Right now, it's playing to be in Brooklyn. So
yeah, it's going to be in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
Do we want to get the date or we want to hold out on that?
Let's hold out on that. We'll hold out on it. But the plan is for it to be in Brooklyn, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, please make sure that you check us out. It's going to be dope. But anyway, we are up out of here. I appreciate your time. And, I'll be on sometime tomorrow. I wanted to get on yesterday, but I couldn't. But I'll be on sometime tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. We out of here.
And Knicks basketball is back on Friday.
Yeah, that's right. Summer League. That's right. Summer League is back on Friday, 8 p.m. The Knicks play the Golden State Warriors on ESPN2. Yeah, no doubt. We out.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.